Do you ever feel trapped or limited by your point of view, unable to imagine possibilities beyond your current circumstances? This feeling is common. Our perspectives are shaped by our upbringing and past experiences. This can constrain our ability to envision new opportunities or solutions. However, we all have visionary potential within us. Visionaries are able to see the bigger picture and imagine bold alternatives. We tend to think this capacity is reserved only for geniuses. But visionary thinking is accessible to us all if we actively work to develop it. French painter Paul Delaroche said, "There is one thing more powerful than kings and all the soldiers in the world, and that is a visionary who has the courage to persevere." What if you could reframe challenges, see opportunities where others do not, and envision solutions where others only see obstacles? Today, we're exploring 3 ways you can activate the visionary inside you and transcend your current situations to find the happiness and peace you deserve. The first step is to acknowledge our limited perspective by admitting our personal viewpoint is entirely subjective. It's colored by our specific context and background. Let's demonstrate with this story. There was a farmer who lived in the small Polish town of Helm. He owned a very small farm that had been passed down in his family for generations. One day, his cousin who owned a massive farm in Kansas came to visit. The farmer proudly gave his cousin a tour of his tiny farm, which only took a short while. Later, over dinner, the farmer asked the cousin what he thought of his farm. The cousin said it was nice, but very tiny. Taken aback, the farmer asked, "How big is your farm in Kansas?" The cousin explained that his farm was so big that it took him all day just to drive his tractor from one end to the other. The farmer smiled with compassion and said, "Don't feel bad, cousin. I once had a tractor like that too." Now the farmer was not being malicious, humorous, or cynical. He actually could not fathom farms could be so large. The only way he could understand what he was told was through the reference point of his farm. So he thought in order for it to take one day to drive across a farm on a tractor, the tractor must be inferior. Like the farmer who couldn't conceive of a farm larger than his own, our perspective is confined by our own limited experiences. We often make false claims of objectivity without ever considering our subjective perspective. So if we're asked, "Are you objective?" we must always include, "Based on my perspective, here's what I think." To be visionary, we must first acknowledge our own limited perspective and perceive beyond that. Someone could ask, "What does the horizon look like?" The answer is going to be very different if you're standing in a valley, standing on a plateau, or if you're at the peak of Mount Everest. 4 different answers, all from different vantage points, and all accurate from that perspective. We all have our farms, therefore we're all subjective. We have our prejudices, our biases, our preconceived notions, our beliefs. So then, how do we find objectivity? By simply recognizing it, by acknowledging it. Truth is the courage to be able to say, based on my perspective, based on my history, based on my tools and instruments, this is what I can tell you. By acknowledging this, you become visionary. You understand and allow for all possibilities, not just the ones you have evidence or experience of. You understand the answer will come from outside your current awareness. The second step to unlocking your vision is to absorb new perspectives. Emmy Award winner Shonda Rhimes tells us, "It's important to have people who are absolutely willing to say you're wrong, or who have a totally different perspective than you do on everything. Fresh ideas are hard to come by, and good ones are even harder." We must actively seek different perspectives, especially those unlike our own. This exposes us to unfamiliar farms outside our experiences, forcing us to reflect on the assumptions that shape our worldview. At first, it feels uncomfortable as we all crave validation, but this expands your reality. And when you expand your reality, more possibilities become open for you. We like everything to be in order and naturally gravitate toward categorization. Like in your cupboard, here's where the spices are, here's where the plates go, here's where I put the cereal. Structure is so much a part of our lives. The problem is not the structure. The problem is when we get trapped in the structure, and that's the only way we see it. There are realities out there that we haven't considered. and much can be learned from those that disagree with us. A visionary person does not just look at the cause, they look at the effect. Don't just look at the seed, look at what the seed is going to yield. See potential in people, not just who you are, but what you can become. Vision holds the background of the past with the present, adding the context of a future. Every act you do right now has a reaction. Every seed will yield and give birth to something positive and negative. Whether it's positive or negative will depend on the perspective of the person experiencing it. Listen openly to those with vastly different backgrounds, ages, ideologies, and life experiences. Absorb wisdom from unexpected sources without judgment. No single perspective encapsulates total truth or reality. New inputs broaden our version of reality, shaping an expanded perspective and opening us up to infinitely more possibilities. The third step to be visionary is to reignite imagination. As kids, our minds constantly wandered creatively, unhindered by what is. But over time, conformity and practicality suppress this spirit. To envision new possibilities, we must reconnect with our untamed imagination and entertain radical what-ifs without limits or judgments. Mark Twain once said, "You can't depend on your eyes when your imagination is out of focus." Yes, imagination is key to seeing possibilities beyond what has already happened. Even to properly see the present moment, we need imagination to let go of the past and open our minds. Imagination allows us to transcend the limits of past experience and envision potential futures. Expanding your imagination frees you from self-imposed constraints. Combined with an open mind, our revitalized imagination allows us to conceive solutions where others only see dead ends. Settling into our comfort zone stifles creative potential. Complacency and assumptions contradict visionary thinking. Maintaining an open, flexible mindset requires continuously integrating expanded perspectives. By unleashing your inner vision, you expand what is conceivable and achievable. The path to widening your reality never ends. By recognizing your subjective lens, absorbing broad views, and reawakening your imagination, you open yourself to experience many more possibilities. You become visionary. Your perspective evolves from static to dynamic. Life becomes an adventure, not defined by limits. Each day offers opportunities to learn, create impact, and grow. You live with open eyes, embracing uncertainty as a source of inspiration and infinite potential. We all hold visionary seeds within, waiting to be nurtured. Water them well, and to ensure you're aligning your emotional state with your vision, make sure to watch this video next.